One of the most important skills in Arc Raiders is learning how to extract from the map without dying. What's up Raiders, Dusty here with part 2 of our PvP University series. In this episode we're diving into extraction. I'll break down a real situation I went through, analyze the encounter and share practical tips you can use to make your extraction safer, whether you're running solo or with a squad. If you're new to this playlist, I started this series just a few days ago. In every episode we take one interesting encounter, dissect it, look at what went right or wrong, and talk about how to handle similar situations in your own games. And of course at the end, we wrap it up with what we have learned. If you're ready, let's jump right into it. For anyone who's familiar with extraction shooters, or for those jumping into the genre for the first time with Arc Raiders, you already know the golden rule. No matter what you do during the match, the most important part is getting out alive. To do that, you need a certain mindset and a few habits you can apply to your gameplay. I'm not saying you need to be the best shot, that's a whole different skill. What truly matters is having a strong understanding of the map layout and knowing how to approach extraction points safely. The first thing I want to talk about is patience. Yes, sometimes you need to rush the extraction because you know other players are heading there as well. But there are also moments where patience is the difference between escaping and becoming someone else's loot. There are exceptions, of course. If the extraction timer is running out, you need to move quickly. Same thing during night raids, when there's only one extraction point available, speed becomes a priority. But regardless of the situation, the extraction mechanic themselves are always the same. For example, when you call an elevator, you get about 30 seconds before it arrives. After that, you hop inside, hold the button for roughly 5 seconds or something around that, and then you're out. Almost every extraction on a map follows similar timing. Estella Montes might have a slight variation. I mean, one of the extractions in the Seed Vault is a little bit different, but the flow is the same. The key is knowing how to approach these spots carefully. And now it's time to breaking down one particular encounter that I found really interesting. As I was approaching the extraction point, I realized there was a camper outside, watching the elevator and waiting to catch me off guard. But things didn't go the way he expected, and then another player showed up on top of everything, which meant I suddenly had to cover two angles at once and deal with one of them as fast as possible to secure the extraction for myself. Alright, let's roll the clip so I can show you exactly what actually happened there. Alright, so everything here looks completely fine. I'm just running toward the elevator, checking every corner I can to make sure nobody's watching me. As I move up to press the elevator button, there's something I didn't notice at first because it was nighttime. But I'm blaming the nighttime, it was my mistake. There's this guy right in front of me shooting arcs with his hull cracker. The moment I hit the button, he definitely gonna turn his attention toward me. I should have shot him before that. Anyway, I missed my first shot. It was dark and I wasn't sure if he was looking at me, and I didn't want to get beamed. So I peeked to realize where he is now, and he backed up behind the door. So now I exactly know where he is. But here's the important part. Just because I spotted him doesn't mean I should run into a building on the other side and hide there. That's actually the worst thing you can do. You limit your vision, you lose sight of the elevator, and you lose sight of the threat. The best approach in this situation is to find a cover that he doesn't expect it, where you still have a clear line of sight to both the elevator and the camper's position. That way you can control the next move instead of giving it up. So I spot this rock, move behind it and hold that angle, and at this point the guy is basically the camper because he knows I pressed the elevator and he's waiting for me to run in so he can shoot me as soon as the door is open. He keeps opening and closing that door, so it actually helped me to know he's still there. From behind my cover, I'm watching the elevator and now it's about 10 seconds for it to open. This is my window to get back to Esperanza safely. And you need to know the fact that usually campers and people who are trying to shoot you when you want to get to the elevator, they wait for the elevator to arrive, and the moment the doors are open, they're gonna peek. So same for this guy. Because I had better cover and I knew exactly what he wanted to do, the moment he opened the door, I landed a clean shot on the guy. That forced him back to heal, giving me a chance to move toward the elevator safely. But I wasn't lucky. Another guy shows up on my right, and that can happen a lot, like, to be honest. This can absolutely happen to any of you. You may think you're dealing with one threat and suddenly there's a second one. And now you're exposed in the open from two angles. Luckily, since I already shot the first camper pretty hard, the real danger now is the new aggressor. So I focus him. I pull out the stitcher and I'm counting every ammo. I keep jumping, shooting, applying pressure so he can't heal, but I'm also counting my bullets carefully. With what I had left in the mag, I managed to finish off the second thread, which I call it the B target. At this point, you definitely don't want to stop to loot the guy. That's the mistake many players make. Instead, I heal up immediately because the original camper might push while I'm weak, or a third or even a fourth player could roll up at any second. I'm constantly watching both the elevator and the direction of that first guy to make sure I'm not getting flanked. And that's how you can handle these situations. And I hope you all have a great time in Arc Raiders and pull off some clean extractions with good loot. Thanks for watching this second episode of our PvP University. If I run into more interesting encounters, I'll break them down on the channel. I appreciate you guys. If you enjoyed the video, drop a comment letting me know what you think of the series, and don't forget to subscribe. Much love, and as always, peace out.